Hey, seventh graders, Mrs. Hooger here. Our learning target today is I can do fraction math with a calculator. So the first thing I want to make sure you have is a calculator that you can do these things on. If you need to pull up the online calculator, make sure to pull up that link from Schoology to get started. Now, some important things to know about the fraction operations on a calculator. The first thing I want you to know is you want to use the fraction button when typing into the calculator. As you can tell, the fraction button is the N over D, and I have it in red as well so you can see that. That's the button we're going to use when we're putting in fractions. Now, when using mixed numbers, don't forget about the mixed number button. So the mixed number button is when we click second and then our fraction button. Now it gives us a whole number and a fraction next to it. Now, to go from fraction to mixed number, we want to use the convert button. So when we get an answer in the end, it's going to give it to us as an improper fraction. We need to convert it at the end. If our answers for A, B, C, and D are asking us for an improper, we'll convert from mixed number to improper. If it's asking for a mixed number, we need to convert it to get to that. So you're going to click second and the convert button. The convert button is what I have in red. It says ND to the mixed number U N over D. Now, you need to click the second button in order to get to that. So I have a reminder, if you need to use a green button, which means any of the print that's written in green on your calculator, you need to click the second button first. So please be careful with those. Anytime you see something written in green at the top of a button, you need to click second to use that green text. All right. So at any point, if you need to, you might want to rewind back to that information or scroll back to the top to read through what you wrote down about using the fraction button and the mixed number button and how to use that second button to get between fractions and mixed numbers. All right, so this first example we have says 2/8 divided by -7/3. All we're going to do is type it right into our calculator. So I'm going to type my fraction button, 2/8. Make sure I arrow over. If I don't use that arrow to move over, it's going to put the division on the bottom of my fraction, and I don't want that. So divided by negative fraction 7/3. Before you click enter, I would confirm that it looks identical to what you have written out on the note. So it's 2/8 divided by -7/3. It looks the same. I click enter and it says -3/28. Now I'm going to write that down just because I want to make sure I know what answer I want to get to. Now, they didn't give us these answers in simplest form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type those into my calculator to simplify them, because our calculator will automatically simplify these fractions if they are able to be simplified. So I'm going to type in A, which is -56/6. That's -28/3. -28/3. Now 56/6 is probably going to be +28/3, just because we know that the negative just makes the entire fraction negative or makes the entire fraction positive. So I can already eliminate A and B because I know it's 28/3 and -28/3, and I want it to be -3/28. So I automatically eliminated two answers already. Now I'm going to go ahead and look at the last set that we have, which says -6/56. So I'm going to type that in, -6/56, and we get -3/28. Automatically, I look up ahead. That is my answer. So before I even have to type this last one in, I already found my answer of -3/28, which is our C. So occasionally you might come across a problem where you need to simplify the fraction before you can figure out which answer it is. If that happens, go through and type those in your calculator, because your calculator will simplify them for you. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. It says 5 2/3 plus 5 1/2. Now this is where we're going to start using our mixed number. So I want to make sure to make a mixed fraction, I want to go second and my fraction button. Now I have everything set up to type in. So I have 5, and I'm just going to use my arrows, and it walks all the way through the problem. 5 2/3 plus, I want to have another mixed fraction or another mixed number. So I have 5 1/2. Now, before I click enter, I want to confirm that they look correct. I have 5 2/3, 5 1/2. I click enter and I get 67/6. Now, as I look at A, B, C, and D, none of those are written as an improper fraction. So I want to convert my 67/6 into a mixed number. So I'm going to keep my fraction exactly where I see it. I'm not going to click anything. I'm going to click second, and I'm going to click my convert button. And the convert button is the one that has the green N/D to U N/D. Now, when I click second and do that, it's going to automatically pull the fraction that I had already typed in, which was 67/6. And now I don't have to retype it in. I know that it was the same one from before because I just pulled it from there again. When I click enter, I get 11 1/6. So if I look through, that means our answer is going to be C, 11 1/6. All right, at this point, if you need to pause your video to go through those first two, if you need to again, if you're ready, we're just going to keep going through these 4 problems in the examples. So this next one, I have 3 1/4 divided by 5 1/3. I'm just going to type it right in my calculator. I want to have a mixed number, so I put my mixed number button. 3 1/4 divided by 5 1/3. I check it before I click anything, make sure it looks the same. 3 1/4 divided by 5 1/3 equals 39/64. Now, automatically, I looked right now and it looks like that answer is one that I can click or select. So 39/64, that's already in simplest form. So we don't have to worry about finding a different answer or simplifying anything else because it was right there. All right. I want you to pause the video and work through the last 3 problems on your own. You're going to type them in exactly how you see them and solve to figure out if it's A, B, C, or D for the last 4. Sorry, the last 3 problems. All right, we're going to go ahead and have you check over your answers for these 3. In my calculator, I typed in 2/5 times 7/8. When I multiplied those ones, I got 7/20 when it's simplified. So you should have C, 7/20. For the next one, I have 6 minus 2 7/8. I typed it in exactly how I saw it. 6 minus 2 7/8, and you should get 25/8, 25/8. When you convert from 25/8 to a mixed number, you should get D, 3 1/8. And on the last one for this page, we have 5/6 minus 1/5. When you type that in your calculator, you should get 19/30, and that one was already in simplest form, so your answer should be D, 19/30. Now, if you need to pause this video to work through the 6 problems on this page, go ahead. Eventually, you're going to come back and fill in your summary of what you learned for today, but we're going to go to the next side and we're going to start working through some of those problems. So there's quite a few problems on here. The You Try page. So what I want you to do is you're going to pause your video and you're going to work through page 9 in your packet. Now, page 9 has quite a few problems on it, but you should be able to use your calculator to type in every single problem. So please go through and make sure that you are solving each of these. I would check before you click enter on your calculator that you typed it in correctly so you know that you have the right answer. When you're done, we're going to check over them together. All right, I want you to check over your answers as we're going. For the first one, 3/8 plus 2/9 equals 43/72. 2/4 plus 1/5 equals 7/10. 3/5 plus 1/6 equals 23/30. Check over those first 3 if you need to. On to the next row. We have 9/5 minus 5/8 equals 1 7/40. If you had 47/40, please make sure you write that as a mixed number. Next, we have 10/4 minus 7/4 equals 3/4. Finally, for this row, we have -4/5 minus 7/8. You should get -67/40, which equals -1 27/40. Check over those 3 if you need to. On to the next row, we have 4 3/8 minus 7/8. You should get 7/2, which is 3 1/2. Next one, we have 3/4 plus 3 11/15. We should get 269/60. which equals 4 and 29/60. For the next one, we have 5 1/3 plus 3 1/2 equals 53/6, which is 8 5/6. All right, on to the last ones. We have 6 more to go. 1 2/5 minus negative 3 3/4. Make sure you are noticing that double negative. That double negative tells you that we are really going to add them together. So we have 103/20, which equals 5 3/20. Next, we have negative 2/5, or 2 5/6 minus negative 1 1/4. That double negative tells us we're really adding them together. We should get negative 19/12, which equals negative 1 7/12. On to our next one, we have negative 3 3/5 minus 4 2/5. When you combine these together, you should just get negative 8. On our last and final row, we have 3 6/7 plus negative 1 1/7. You should get 19/7, or 2 5/7. Next, we have 1 2/7 plus negative 3 4/7. When you combine them together, you should get negative 16/7, which is negative 2 2/7. And our last and final problem, negative 10/7 plus 1/6 equals negative 53/42, which is negative 1 11/42. All right, if you need to, go back and rewind so you can check over your answers. You need to go back to page 1 and complete your summary. Write a 1 to 2 sentence summary about what you learned today. Something that has to do with using the calculator in order to solve math problems would probably be best. If you have any questions, reach out to your teacher. Have a great day.